Ladies and gents, what's up? BC again, Team BC here with Alden, the realtor as well. Welcome back. We're going to talk to you guys today about the open house and when somebody asks you about hosting an open house. So first things first, Alden, welcome back. Do you normally do open houses or no? Are you like me where you kind of hated them?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're my number one favorite source of lead gen. However, I will host open houses on my listings just so I can give myself an excuse to go out and kind of talk to the neighbors and door knock the neighborhood.
Cool.
Because I picked up a couple of listings doing that as well.
Wow, so you door knocked and you actually got listings. That works.
It's the magic bullet everyone's looking for.
So in 2023, prospecting still works.
Door knocking still officially works. You heard it here.
That's funny, bro. I mean, like, people question it, right? People who have talked to you and me privately will then message the other person and ask that a couple months later. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, but then they admit it most of the time. It's just them being a little bitch and being scared and not wanting to do it, which is fine. That's the truth most of the time, right? Okay, so let's get into it. Right? I want to address this from both angles. I want to address this from the angle of if you don't do open houses, which is fine, or if you do, making sure you describe it the best way. So this is what I'll do. I'll talk about kind of how I describe doing it, and then I can pass it to Alden, and he can talk to you about giving some replies in regards to if you don't want to do it, how to present that properly so the owner doesn't think you're being weird or being lazy or something like that, right? So if they bring it up to me, I will say, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Seller. Did you read the pre-listing package? I'm assuming they did. Let's say they didn't or they skimmed over that part. I say, I do what's called, get this, Mr. Seller, you won't believe it, right? Open house event. I make this an event. Have you ever heard of that? That's a great line to say if you really want to emphasize something. Have you ever heard of that? Because most people are going to say no. It's like, I work with Team BC. Have you heard of us? They say no. It's like, really? So they're going to say, well, no, right? Now, if you're watching this, if you go to my old YouTube channel, I made a video called like how to host the best open house that has like 100 or 200,000 views or something like that. I made that video 6, 7, 8 years ago where I described the open house event. So you can refer to that if you want like really, really minute details, but I tell them I'm going to do an event. So a week prior to Mr. Seller, I'm going to be promoting the open house. I'm going to be talking to your neighbors personally. I'm going to be notifying agents and all the top agents in the area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to exclusively open up the open house the first 30 minutes only for the people in your neighborhood so I can have closer, more intimate conversations with them to see if they have family members or friends who want to move. Because you would agree that those people in your closest proximity would have more motivation and would really want to get their family members in here, huh? Cool. That's kind of how I explain it. Now, there's more. You can refer to the video because I don't want to blab on for 10 minutes, but make sure that even when you emphasize something that it's grandiose, it's nice, they're listening like, oh my God, this is incredible. And all that is, y'all, it's not the contents of the open house. It's your rich description of it. It's the language that you use and how you describe it. Notice all the little nuances like me leaning in and whispering and lowering my voice. Those are the little pieces to the puzzle that you guys have to develop in your communication if you want to captivate people, if you want to fascinate them, if you want to keep them engaged, right? I just came from Kansas City speaking to a room, and right after my session, they had to take a break because so many people came up to me after like, oh my God, that was incredible. And I wasn't even doing a scripted presentation. I kicked off the conference talking about material that wasn't even related to the conference, but it was the impact of what was said. Okay, so I'll transition to Alden now. Let's say in the event, you're like, dude, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to do an open house. What does that dialogue or interaction look like for you?
Yeah, so if somebody says, because you will get this question directly at listing appointments, are you going to hold an open house for me? And I'll say, it depends. Whether I want to hold an open house, I'll usually ask why they're asking that, because it's so important to understand why somebody's asking it. And I'll literally ask them, I'll say, yeah, that's a great question. Is there anything specific that's important to you about me holding the open house? And they'll go into whatever they say. And then whatever they say, I'll say, a lot of times it's based on, oh, well, we want to make sure that, we're getting the most buyers through here. And I'll say, can I share a little secret with you that's widely known in the real estate industry, but a lot of consumers aren't quite aware of it? And then she'll say, well, yeah, go for it. What is it? Real estate open houses don't sell properties. Less than 1% of houses are actually sold through open houses. Were you aware of that? And then she'll say, oh, no, I hadn't, I didn't know. Now, I personally will hold open houses so I can maximize my listing and really try to, take advantage of and get all the leads I can out of it. So I'll say, But, with that being said, I will hold an open house, and then I'll kind of go into the reasoning as to why I actually hold my open houses, which is to go door knock, talk to the neighbors, and get as much foot traffic through the door as possible, as quickly as possible, so we can get that leverage to, negotiate and get you as high of a price as possible.
Nice.
I'll go into it in more detail, but for video's sake, I just explained the reasoning.
Yeah. And that's great. And all that is facts. I remember getting a printout when I started showing that, saying 1% of open houses sell the listing. And that whole printout was, how can you maximize your business using open houses to get leads and then, get more listings, which is what I did with these events, right? The open house didn't sell the house, but I got a shit ton of buyer leads that turned into buyers. And almost always I would set up a listing appointment with a neighbor or somebody a couple blocks away who's thinking about selling. Did it work for the seller? No, but it got us a ton of business. So it would behoove you potentially to do it. However, you do have the option of doing either one and letting them know the truth, right?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I get a lot of respect because I've actually had sellers who have told me, oh yeah, I actually knew that. I appreciate you saying it. Because not many people, I've talked to a couple of people and nobody mentioned that except for you.
Yep.
So people appreciate the truth. And if you're just truthful with people, again, I've said it previously, but it puts you a leg up from other realtors, like without a doubt, if you just be honest with people up front.
Yep. Bridges the trust gap, right? Temporary pain or discomfort, or them not feeling cool because you gave them the truth on the price or the open houses, but long-term trust, confidence, and them probably choosing you because in the end, although it might have stung a little bit to hear the truth, they know that, they're in your hands. That's the best bet for them moving forward in the sale of their house.
Absolutely. They know it's what they need to hear.
Cool. Any last words of wisdom, or are we on to the next one?
On to the next one, man. On to the next one.
All right, let's do it. Team BC out. Peace, guys.